Hello students, here's a video for the word accompany, which is the second word in the level 1 words for this week. So last video, remember I told you that CC in English was pronounced like an X, but I'm again seeing that English does not follow rules, so as soon as I give a rule about something, there will be an exception that shows that the rule is not always true. And that's a case right here, because we have another word with two C's in it, but in this case, they're not pronounced like an X, they're just pronounced like one letter C. So confusing, I know. It's not logical, unfortunately. English is not logical. But I guess I should have said last time, sometimes with two C's it's pronounced like an X, and other times it's not. So here it's not. So here actually you just pronounce it as though, como si, if there was only one of these. So you just say accompany, just pronounce it, lo pronunciamos como k, just like a letter C. So again, the pronunciation of the word is accompany. Company, just like a company, like una compañía, and then you just put in the front of it and you say accompany. It's a verb, and it is translated with the Spanish word acompañar. Acompañar. And so it has two definitions, which are both verbs. One is for like a person to travel or go somewhere with somebody, and the second one is not for a person, it's more like for an event or something natural in nature or something that happens or appears with something else, but not for a person. So I'll show you examples for both of those in a second. Word families for accompany. The first one is accompaniment. Accompaniment is something that accompanies something else that goes with it. You can also use accompanying as an adjective. Synonyms for accompany: escort, follow, go along, or travel. Those are all related to definition 1. Antonyms for accompany could be abandon or desert, which would be like, I'm not going with you, I'm abandoning you, you're by yourself, right? Compared to accompany means to go with somebody else. Let's look at some examples for accompany. So this is a sentence with the first definition in a picture here. So it says to travel or go somewhere with somebody. So in this picture, a person is accompanying some other people to the airport. Obviously, pre-virus, nobody has a mask on. But it says, I accompanied my friends to the airport. So this means like she went to the airport with these people. They're her friends. So accompany means to go with somebody to a place, that definition. Then the second definition of accompany, not for people, is to happen or appear with something else. So here's an example. Thunder accompanies lightning during a thunderstorm. So when you have lightning, right? Lightning is the electric shock, the electricity that goes from the sky, between the sky and the ground, and it's what you see. There is also always thunder, which is the sound at the same time as you see the lightning. You also hear the thunder, el trueno, at the same time. So they accompany each other. Another use of this would be, I've heard people talk about food, like if there are two kinds of food that you often serve together, you can talk about they accompany each other. I don't know, peanut butter accompanies jelly, something like that. That's a use of it with this meaning, where it's not actually a person going with somebody, it's two things being at the same time or happening at the same time, and or appearing at the same time. And there's one more sentence here. This is a sentence related to English class. And this is exactly what we're studying right now, so you should know this from the grammar that we learned this quarter. So we're learning about transitive verbs. So a transitive verb is a verb that takes what's called an object. So that means that you need to have a noun or pronoun that comes after the transitive verb, and then that receives the action. For example, if I say I, let's see, I give the book, right? Or I give the book, you could say to you, but you have to say I give the book. That's required because that's the object of it. You can't just say, usually we don't just say I give that much. We say, especially with, depending on the meaning of a word, I should say some verbs have transitive meanings and intransitive meanings of the same verb, but anytime when you're using a verb with a transitive meaning of that verb, in those cases at least, there must be a direct object. So that means that A noun or pronoun comes after the verb and receives the action. And those two things go together. That's the definition of a transitive verb. Transitive verb takes an object, okay, which is the noun or pronoun that comes after it. So they must accompany each other. That's definition 2. Two things that happen or appear at the same time. Thanks a lot for watching.